For part 1, I think we went with a few heroes that were just way too overpowered compared to Homelander. For this list, we at Top 10 Nerd tried to bring it down, mostly, for some more interesting heroes who could potentially take down the boys Homelander. So welcome to part 2 of the top 10 superheroes who could take on Homelander. Coming in at number 10 is Iron Man. Now, Homelander may have speed and strength, and even durability on his side, but what he sorely lacks is intelligence. He isn't dumb, but he is certainly no Tony Stark. In a physical shot-for-shot slog of a fight, Iron Man would likely not come out on top. But he makes up for everything with his technology and his intelligence. Don't forget, Iron Man has been doing this for a long time. He has gone to space, he's fought Celestials, he's attacked the Phoenix Force with enough power to split it into 5, and he's traded blows with Thanos. He has energy shields and blades, nanobots, unibeams, and honestly whatever technology he needs to get the job done, because Tony is not just an engineering genius, but also a master tactician. For the most part, he is incredibly good at planning attacks and strategies to take on opponents far stronger than him. There is another side to Tony though that would help him and another comic book character out in a fight against Homelander though. Coming in at number 9 is Batman / Bruce Wayne. If Iron Man can take on Homelander, then there is a strong reason to believe Batman could do just the same. I talked all about technology when talking about Iron Man, and while that does apply to Batman to a degree, there is something both Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne share. They are rich. In the Boys universe, the superheroes are organized and controlled by a company called Vought American. Now, with the untold wealth of Bruce Wayne, he could potentially outright buy Vought, giving him full control over Homelander. While money doesn't necessarily spell out a win for Bruce, it does however provide a lot of resources. And as many of us nerds know, Batman with prep time is a force that almost no one can defeat. Even Superman sometimes struggles, although that's debatable. Unlike Superman, Homelander doesn't have kryptonite, or any kind of magical rock weaknesses, but he is a psychological mess, and Batman has a skill for utilizing fears and insecurities of criminals. There are many reasons Batman would come out on top in this fight. Coming in at number 8 is Doctor Strange / most magic users. Yes, welcome to the magical based hero section of the video. No one in the Boys universe is a magically based hero. Homelander has never encountered someone with magical abilities, and all the muscle in the world won't save him from someone who can enter into a different plane of existence, warp reality, travel dimensions, or summon demons. The amount of ways in which someone like Marvel's Doctor Strange or even DC's Dr. Fate could defeat a character like Homelander is almost unending. Banishment, binding, sealing, magical weapons, monsters from other dimensions, portals, shields, illusions. I could go on, but any physical fighter is completely done when facing a master of the mystic arts. Number 7 is Kitty Pryde. One of the key things about Homelander is that he is a physical fighter. Most of his attacks are physical in nature, so what happens when physical attacks don't affect the recipient? What happens when the person you're fighting can phase through everything you send their way? Well, 1, it would be incredibly frustrating for a man-baby like Homelander, but 2, that character is gonna be one hell of a tough opponent. Kitty can make all or part of her body intangible. She can phase through any physical or energy-based attacks. She can become invisible, although Homelander's senses could most likely find her. He wouldn't be able to hurt her. But how could she defeat him? Well, she can selectively disrupt a person's nervous system by passing through them. She could phase her hand through his head and then solidify her hand in his brain, killing him instantly. And at number 6, it's Goku. Okay, yeah, this one is overkill again, for sure. But forget Marvel and DC. How would Homelander fare against the hero of Dragon Ball Z? Goku loves to fight. It's pretty much all he does except for eating, which, me too. For those of you who don't know, the Superman vs. Goku debate has been a thing for a hot minute. While it's a toss between these two, Homelander is a weaker version of Superman, and Goku is basically endlessly improving to the point of going one-on-one with gods, even reaching classifications that have God in the title. Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. What? At the end of the day, Goku could beat Superman, which means he could destroy Homelander, maybe with just like a drop of sweat. Number 5, Spider-Man. Fast, agile, strong, able to take a hit from Marvel's heavy hitters, Spider-Man could certainly annoy Homelander into making mistakes if he wanted to engage in close quarters. Now, Homelander does have that pesky laser vision ranged attack, but Spider-Man's spider sense and agility could make its way around that little ability. We should also take his webbing into account. It couldn't completely stop Homelander, but I think it could definitely inhibit his heat vision temporarily and certainly annoy him into making mistakes. In a physical brawl with fisticuffs, Spider-Man has shown shown that he pulls his punches, meaning he is much stronger than most people think, and even when pulling his punches, he is quite capable. Spider-Man has taken on opponents faster and stronger than Homelander. Spider-Man has defeated both a team of X-Men and Avengers. Homelander is straightforward, brutal, and is willing to kill Spider-Man, but Homelander isn't the smartest of heroes, and Spider-Man has won against similar villains using his intelligence and skills alone. It would make for an incredibly good fight, but I think Spider-Man could win. And at number 4, Rogue. Homelander may be an incredibly powerful foe, but the X-Men's Rogue does best against incredibly powerful foes. Rogue's mutant powers are that she can steal powers and abilities from anyone she touches, and sometimes even those she doesn't touch. Depending on how long Rogue is in contact with Homelander, she can knock him out and possibly leave him permanently powerless. In one fight, Rogue touched Miss Marvel, who is similar to Homelander in power, and she did it for so long that she retained that hero's powers for good. The only problem is that Rogue would need to get to Homelander for this to happen, which could prove to be difficult, but it depends on tons of factors. The fact of the matter is she does have the potential to bring this guy down if she can use her abilities on him. Coming in at number 3 is Martian Manhunter. In part 1, we talked about Jean Grey using her telepathy to psychologically mess up Homelander, but the Justice League has quite the telepath on their side in the form of Martian Manhunter. He could do all kinds of things to Homelander's crippled mind, and that is before we even get into his other powers. Manhunter is likely just as strong, if not stronger, than Homelander, not to mention his speed, durability, and stamina. He's a shapeshifter, being able to transform into other people and phase himself through objects and even increase his density to be as hard as diamonds. And at number 2 is Wolverine. While Wolverine is not on the level of strength that Homelander is at, he's also not on the same level of strength as the Hulk, and those two have done battle for more than a few times, with Old Man Logan even defeating the Hulk after being eaten by him. Wolverine's adamantium claws can cut through adversaries like the Hulk, Thanos, and even Thor, all three of which being characters that have the durability to tank universal level attacks. Wolverine's agility, experience, and ferocity all make his fight with Homelander even more engaging, but it's his healing factor that I think would ultimately save the day. There are not many attacks that Wolverine cannot survive. Wolverine has had all the flesh burned off of his body, leaving only his adamantium skeleton, and has still regenerated from that. He has survived the nuclear bombings of Japan, being struck by lightning, getting ripped in half by the Hulk, and even getting crushed and flattened by a steamroller. The only way I could see Homelander winning is if he suffocated Wolverine, which would be very difficult, or if he threw Logan into the sun, which he is nowhere near strong enough to do in the first place. Homelander would have trouble defeating this adamantium skeleton berserker, and even if he did, Wolverine would heal up and bring the fight back to Homelander, and all he would need is a few good strikes with his claws and the fight is done. And last but not least, we're coming in at number 1 with Ghost Rider. 2 words: penance, stare. Ghost Rider's penance stare takes all the pain, physical or emotional, that a person has inflicted onto others and inflicts it back on that person all at once, while hellfire literally burns their soul. Now for someone like Homelander, who has terrified and slaughtered people he was meant to save, emotionally crippled people on his own team, dropped a family from the sky, usurped a government, and all that good stuff, the penance stare that bypasses most physical defenses and can harm a person who is physically invulnerable would completely destroy him. It's magical in nature, and no one in The Boys is prepared for that kind of power. The penance stare is the star of the show in this duel, but Ghost Riders have many advantages over someone like Homelander. They're incredibly durable and super strong. In fact, Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider could take a hit from the totally awesome Hulk, Amadeus Cho, without even flinching. Any damage they receive that isn't holy or magical in nature is healed from instantly, and the Ghost Rider's Hellfire attacks are magical and could probably do some kind of damage to Homelander. I don't think he would last very long, not at all. Alright homies, that's the list. What did you think? Agree? Disagree? Leave it all in that spicy comment section, and while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe at Top 10 Nerd. I'm Adam Andrews. You can find me on Instagram at _Schmadam, and until next time, peace out, nerds!